Welcome to Rebuilding the Artist, a podcast that explores the intersection of identity, creativity, and mental health in the arts. I'm your host, Rashida Black, a therapist and former musician, here to help you navigate the pressures and challenges of a world that often demands perfection at the cost of well-being. This podcast is about reclaiming your sense of self between all of the expectations and harsh self-talk. Whether you're an artist or supporting a creative, join us as we explore building resilience and living authentically. You know, I'm really going to start to think that you like being here if you keep coming back. As of this recording, singer Chapel Rowan, she publicly discussed her recent depression diagnosis. Actually, I read it today on my Some E-Cards email. I've been getting that thing for years. Every once in a while, it gives me some useful information because I don't read page 6. But anyway, so I started digging into it. Like, what is this? And what the story illustrated, at least to me, was how success can come not only with overwhelming pressure, but also with a lot of discrepancies. So Chapel said that her kind of quick rise to fame, it didn't prepare her for the intensity of what was to come. And so then she didn't recognize that she was experiencing depression because she equated depression with sadness, which is just one of the byproducts. But more than that, we experience depression when we are self-neglecting. And she said that having to, have security detail in order to go to yoga was really overwhelming. So basically, she stopped doing her self-care in order to avoid the unfortunate pitfalls of celebrity, which include harassment and stalking. And so you get it, right? The fame, it creates this disconnect between the artist and their authentic self-care. And so Chapel's figuring out how to be a person when the public demand is absolute accessibility to her at all times. It kind of reminded me of something that Angelina Jolie said about being glad that she's not a young actor today because of that expectation of constant accessibility. So this is why every artist needs a therapist, okay? I'm here, hello. Because other people play a huge role in either supporting or damaging an artist's mental health. And supercare is super important. Supercare. Self-care is super important. And so is community. And so no matter where you are in your career, we have to know how to navigate life. But when that life is something completely different than where you've been, who the hell is there to help you to navigate it? So let's say if Chapel were to get old school advice, it might be to isolate, to have people come to her instead of her going out into public, basically to separate herself from others. And that's reasonable. That's understandable because they could point to Selena or John Lennon, right, who were both murdered by fans, and say, this is why you can't be out in the world anymore. Sorry. But I wonder, is there another way? I also want to say that it can't just be on the artist, obviously. So a lot of the onus has to be on the consumers. So the public, right, for them to self-regulate. We're all responsible for ourselves. I can also understand how people get confused. Some people who are famous or who reach celebrity status, they want that fanatic energy. That attention feeds different unmet needs in their lives. I get it. Others, though, and I would probably say like the majority of artists, just want to do their art, just want to live a life that they love. What if audiences were receptive and respectful of their intensity? I mean, okay, take a look at Tom and Rita Hanks, right? You remember when Tom got rightly upset when a fan bumped into Rita and cursed at the person? And everybody was like, oh, right? But like, why? Tom was right. Be mindful, respect boundaries. And that's the thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that would be amazing. And it's also not the world that we live in currently. But I think it could be. Oh, I want to dream a little bit. I'm just saying, if we had each other's backs and acknowledge that one person needing space and another one not necessarily desiring it doesn't make one person right and another person wrong. Humans have a tendency to generalize, and a quick judgment can expedite action. I get it. But everybody slow down a little bit, Let's just simmer down now. That's an old SNL reference. And so if we did that, like if we really supported each other, communities would create environments where artists could thrive. And really, quite honestly, do we need celebrities? I'm just saying. They're manufactured marketing products. They're false gods in a Protestant society. Do we actually need celebrities? No. I'm just going to tell you, no. What we actually need are more artists. We need humanity's truth tellers. The visual artists and writers whose craft can outlast their civilizations. These are the historians of an otherwise forgotten language. This is why artists are important. We bring people together. We show them who they are. We show them how they're connected. When artists are part of community and reflecting communities, communities are healthier. And creativity thrives in that healthy community. I know this is going to be like a big call to action, but I really need everyone listening to just do this one thing. Take people off pedestals. Please. See them as regular human beings. See them as community members. Level that playing field. And it's fine if they do something unique. That's amazing. But we can all do something unique in our own way. I was so weirded out. I was watching, I don't know what it was, Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert, some late night talk show host. And when they announced that Taylor Swift had just become a billionaire, and people clapped, like the audience clapped. And I was like, why are you clapping? That's your money. Why are you clapping? It just didn't make any sense to me. But then I started kind of reading up about it, and it seemed like people really thought that that's them too. But we don't own anybody just because we contribute to their bank account. Taylor Swift does not owe you anything for your contribution. But maybe you can see it as an exchange. Hear me out. No matter where you are in your career, someone is going to try to use you. And I don't mean that to sound scary. It's just that a lot of times people don't understand the true value of an artist. And then we allow that perception to continue by giving into all or nothing, mentality. So Taylor Swift, billionaire, cool. And then we have like the starving artist trope. Why? Stop. That disadvantages all of us. Can we maybe make the barter of money for goods and services more of an exchange rather than some type of unfair transaction? Because it is expensive to be an artist. When I was applying to colleges, I had to spend money on plane tickets to get to the auditions. I had to buy outfits that made it look like I belonged at that school or in that environment. I had to find a place to stay for the interviews. I had to miss school or work or gigs or whatever. I had to rent a vehicle or pay for transportation from the airport or to wherever the school was, let alone all the lessons and entry fees that it took me to even get to that place, right? That's a lot of money. And then we get into the school and we have to navigate the politics of being in an unnecessarily competitive environment, and then figuring out how to pay for school. They seem like invisible struggles to everybody else. And I think that it's worth making it known that the investment is great. Financially, physically, I had back issues in my teens and 20s, not only because my instrument is heavy as hell and I had to cart it around, but also because I was sitting for hours practicing. That is not healthy. That is bad for the body. But the goal was perfection. The goal was not my mental and physical well-being. And that is part of the issue. We're not just sitting around being naturally good at what we do. We're putting in a lot of work. And because of that, we need support and we need community. And so, like I was saying about Chapel's story, we need audiences to be aware of themselves. And we also need support from each other. I feel like we have a responsibility as artists to support each other. And we need healthy environments that reinforce positive identities. We need to see that we're on the same team. We're not vying for the same audiences. There's not a finite amount of dollars. There are many hours in the day, days in the year, life events, holidays, all the things for us to exchange money for goods and services. Right? We don't belong to a monopoly, and we shouldn't act like we do. It's not, I have to go work for this one family and I'm going to stay there for the rest of my career writing sonnets and lullabies for their children. That is not the world we live in. And so I think our surroundings should empower us to be our best, to do our best. When we're young, we can't really choose what that looks like. It's not really about nature versus nurture, because when we're kids, it's both. But I think we always can find a way to be more supportive, right? Less sabotagey. Asking others if they want to get high, that's sabotagey, man. So let's build each other up rather than competing in unhealthy ways. Let's create a stronger and more resilient arts community. That's what I wanted. That's what I still want. I want that for you. And I want it for future generations because, like I said, we are essential for humanity. And I think we need to recognize that power and help other people see it too. So, created my utopian view. Maybe I should run for office. Would you vote for me? Vote for me. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Rebuilding the Artist. We hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, connected, and more in tune with your creative self. Remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with fellow artists who need to hear these stories. You can also follow us on Instagram at Kimura Wellness for more insights and updates. That's Kimura Wellness, Khemura Wellness. Join us next time as we continue to explore what it means to rebuild and heal as an artist. Until then, keep creating, keep questioning, and above all, keep showing up for yourself. You are the artist. You are the storyteller of your life.